Hey everybody, CSquad live racing show tonight. We're going to discuss some cool racing stuff that's going around, and to give folks a time for this show to spool up, we have a special guest, Cody Lee, and another special guest that's going to join us. And the show is sponsored by Weir's Machine and RH Redheaded Rebel Brew Coffee. And I'm going to do a quick rundown of my racing recap, which I'm sure is going to bore you. But if you will, oh, the camera's going crooked. But anyway, it's good to see you joining me. We've got a live crowd building. I'm going to go into the next room here. I'm going to talk about national points real quick. And if you can see the wall there, there's been a lot of shifts. Skeeter and Lauren Johnson did some major slide jobs, and where Skeeter nuzzled his way up into 4th, and Lauren Johnson up into 7th, I believe, and none of our plans are turning out to get us faster. But anyway, let's get back to the more fun part of the show as we let some people spool up here. Can everybody hear me all right? Let me set this back down so it stops vibrating. There we go. Everybody hear me all right? Cool. It's good to see lots of people joining. There I am again. Sorry that you're getting the back. There we go. Okay, everybody here all right? Oh, now, before we get our guest on, Cody Lee, who's been winning up a storm in Minnesota, and he made a trip to North Dakota and brought home the bacon from the Cheyenne River Speedway. He'll be on in a second. But my quick recap, went to KRA, 3rd in the heat, started pole. It was a heartbreaker with 4 to go. I took it in a little hot and nibbled the leader's left front and self-spun. So no rock race win for me. Went to Fergus, 3rd to 3rd and 10th to 7th, but I won the bottom. So Terry Volts, can I get into the rock race for winning the bottom in Fergus? Because there was 6 people on the high side in front of me, so technically I won the bottom. Jamestown won the heat, 8th to 2nd to Jason Grimes. AHL won heat, started 8th, and watched Austin Hunter drive to the front as I wiggled back a position. Some noteworthy quotes. Stormy said I couldn't beat him on the top. Watch this shit. Joe Duvall. Tips for learning. Ask questions. A wise person will ask questions. It may appear foolish for a moment, but a fool won't ask questions and be a fool a long time. Asking question speeds up the learning curve. Noteworthy stories, there's 2. One is about Buzzy Adams and one is Zach Doctor. Buzzy Adams just picked up his 500th win at Eagle Valley Speedway Sunday night. Yes, 500. Wow. Travis Sauer, by the way, is like 9 away from 500. So if you see Buzzy Sauer, give him a little encouragement so you can catch Buzzy on the wins. And if you want to know how to properly celebrate a win in victory lane, it's in the notes, but Zach Doctor won at Williston Speedway, his first modified feature win, and he shows you how to properly celebrate in victory lane. Check it out, especially if you're one of these people that's really boring when you win, like you saddle out of the car and rustle up to the trophy like it's no big deal. Well, Zach's going to show you how to properly celebrate it like you're on WWF. Rebel Rants, got 3 of them. If you're working at a food counter at a racetrack and someone comes up for food, it's a good idea to acknowledge them, ask them if they need some help. You'll probably sell more food. Number 2, second place Doe Coogan. If you get second in Jamestown Speedway, you get to get on the podium and you get some dough. It's like Coogan. It's really good, but it's kind of cool because it's really hard to win at a lot of tracks like Jamestown and Fergus. So when they quickly acknowledge second, I think that's kind of a cool deal. And third, if you're a track, you should be doing online ticket sales for the pits and the stands, period. It's 2018. It's convenient, it's faster, it's easier, and by the way, people usually spend more money if they use credit card. My Race Pass makes that easy. Now, without any further ado, thanks for all the support on the CSquad racing shirts. We've been selling them all over. Particularly, there's hot spots in like Langdon, Devil's Lake, and River City. Like 100 of them went up in that area. I'm not sure why. However, if you have a shirt and you take a picture of yourself wearing it somewhere and you post it up next week during the live show, one of you will win a bag of RHR Brew Coffee. And now to our special guest, Cody Lee is joining us. Cody, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. I'm not seeing you on the camera here. Let me, we have technical difficulty, but we're going to fix this. There you go. All right, Cody, are you there, Cody?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I know we wanted to have you last week, but you had to work another meeting, so I'm very happy to have you on the show. You've been burning it up in Minnesota and North Dakota on the feature wins. You got like 8 or 9 this year?
Yeah, we've been lucky. We got 9 so far.
9. So that's 9 more than most. The reality of it is, because a lot of people won't get a win. So that's awesome. For the people who don't know you, you want to tell us a little bit about you?
My name's Cody Lee. I'm 28 years old. I live in a small town called Starbuck. It's about a half an hour south of Alexandria.
No relation to Starbuck coffee?
No, there's no relative here that name. I'm a CNC machinist at a small company. I have 2 daughters, a wonderful girlfriend who never misses a race. Just a small town kid, I guess, racing.
Awesome. How'd you get into racing?
When I was 8 years old, many race fans will know the name of Ron Host. He used to race a super stock all over the place, and my dad pitted for Ronnie. And one day Ronnie told my dad to bring me over to the go-kart track, and I went and watched one night with my dad, and been hooked ever since I was 8 years old.
Oh, awesome. Hey, do you have any, my camera's acting weird on me, do you have any pre-race rituals, anything you do to kind of get ready to race?
Oh man, Scott. I sweep out the trailer. I always check stagger. Just kind of anything to keep me out of the seat. I try to wait till there's 0 laps left to get in my car. I get really, really nervous. So.
Oh, wow. I'm kind of one of those guys that gets in the car like 30 minutes early. But anyway, how about, do you have any kryptonites in racing? Like, I discovered one of my kryptonites is Race of Champion races. I can't seem to even barely get a top 10 in any of them.
Not really that I know of. Nothing that I can really think of, I guess.
All right. What's your favorite track you've been to this year?
This year?
Yes.
I'm going to have to say I really, really like Lisbon. That was a really, really nice, a lot of nice people. I mean, the track was beautiful, but the people there were really, really nice. We were also fortunate enough to go out and try Aberdeen, and that was phenomenal as well. I mean, I really don't have one certain racetrack that I love more than the others, like a lot of people. I just enjoy going somewhere where you feel welcome to be at.
Cool. What's the, you rolled earlier this year, and it was kind of a bad roll. It was on video. People can look it up. I remember you kind of put your hand in the air, and I remember the seat rocking, and it looked kind of like a really, and they also had outside footage, or you didn't even realize you were going to roll because you kind of got hit on the left rear. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was definitely a ride of a lifetime. I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember much, even to this day. Yeah, grabbing the roll cage, I obviously did not want to do that. Just to clarify all the comments that were being said when that video was out there, it was just kind of a natural reaction. I mean, obviously I never meant to do it. You know, I meant to just keep my hands at my chest And as far as the seat moving, because there were lots of comments with that too, we have 5 grade 8 bolts in our seats, and the one behind your back on the right shoulder, we run grade A bolts, and it popped the head right off the bolt with such an impact. I mean, it was fastened in there very correctly. Just that's how hard of an impact it was.
Wow. Yeah, I was thinking maybe on my seat I should move those top bolts further apart because they're pretty close together to allow for the teetering, but one of yours actually broke, huh?
Yeah, the actual threads are still in the seat mount itself, but the head of the bolt popped completely off. And like you just said, in my other car now that I'm driving, we mounted the seat differently, so that was much better.
So any thoughts on safety, on what you'd recommend for kind of minimum standards? Containment seat?
You know, I was, before this rollover, I really wasn't a big stickler on safety. You know, I didn't care if I had a full containment seat. Never once thought of a Hans device. You know, I was just kind of a get in and go, you know, and after that rollover, I had a Hans on, and it still wrecked my helmet. It spider cracked it where the Hans hooked up, and it stretched the Hans strap out itself. So I will not get in the car anymore without head and neck restraint of some sort and a full containment seat, to say the least.
All right. Yeah, I think that's something that should probably even be put into the rules a little bit to help upgrade the safety, because one of the kids that helps me bought a bomber, and I was kind of surprised on how even with some of the welding on the cages and stuff seemed a little subpar. But anyway, what's the biggest obstacle you've overcome this year then, on or off the track?
I would have to say that rollover. I'm not going to say that, you know, I'm a wimp by no means, but it definitely spooked me. And to come back out of the gate a week later, you know, I took 1 weekend off and used that weekend to get the other car finished up and prepped. And it was definitely a different feeling hopping behind the seat, and it was even better. We went and raced it and got it kind of settled in on Friday night, and it was even better because Sunday we went to Granite City and won with it. So it definitely was a good way to kind of get back behind the wheel. But it was definitely, we've had a lot of ups and downs this year, and I guess all you can really say is you just got to keep going.
Yep. Hey, any tips for a new driver, a new racer who might be struggling? What would you tell him or her?
Seat time. You just got to keep going. I mean, as far as driving wise, I don't really know. I guess I'm definitely not no professional myself, so I'm still learning every time I go out there. But it's definitely seat time. The more you can race, the better you can get. Don't overdrive it in if you can't you know, handle the car or what's about to happen.
Yeah, good stuff there. Definitely need seat time. Hey, off topic, have you read my book, Principles of Fortune? It's got a little section on racing and some tips for the new driver.
I'm going to look bad here, but no, I haven't.
That's all right. A lot of us learn by doing. Some of us learn by reading a little bit. Can speed up the learning curve. But we have a special guest here with you. Your sister Haley is going to join us. Haley, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. So we have a brother and sister who both race the same class. So tell us a little bit about you, Haley. You work in the daycare business, taking care of kids, and then...
Yeah, well, I'm 21 years old. I live in Starbuck also. And yeah, I am a toddler teacher at a daycare center in Glenwood, Minnesota.
Awesome. So how did you get into the racing the same way as Cody?
Yeah, well, I got in it because of him, but I was 5 when I started racing go-karts. So.
Oh, wow. Are you, do you have other siblings too?
Yes, we have one in the middle of us.
Morgan. Oh, okay.
He raced go-karts, and then she didn't get into it like we did, but she still is always there supporting us. So.
Oh, awesome. So she's the sane one, and you two are the risk takers.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's it like racing brother and sister, same class? How do you support each other? Are you like super competitive?
We can be.
Yeah, no, definitely racing her. I always try. Seems that I always want to try to beat her a little bit more than others, but I'd always run her clean. I would never dirty her up.
So no rubbing for the checker between either of you?
I don't know, I might.
All right, how about if it was like 10 grand on the line, one's high, one's low?
I think I would.
I was not expecting that.
Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes that changes a little bit. Who gets the better tires? Like, do you work out of the same shop?
Yes, we do. I think we have even tires.
Yeah, we run the same stuff.
Yeah.
Same stuff. And then does one like do more of the setup work and the other more logistics, or you both do all the same things? How's that work?
I would say that the way that we could break it down is our dad builds everything. I mean, our dad is our backbone of our team. He builds the cars, and when it comes to setup, I mean, I think I can say that I pretty much handle most of the setup. And then Haley, when it comes to tire work, she does all the tire work. She kind of gets everything organized, stuff that we do not want to do.
Right. Yeah, I kind of tend to be the tire grinding guy too, so it's kind of enjoyable. Although there's definitely a trick to make it easier. So Haley, you also have a boyfriend that races, Kyle.
Yeah.
And does he races street? I know because I more know him from street stock. He's like way up there in the points for street stock too, right?
Yes, it's second.
He's in second. Do you tell him that, or does he look, or do you like?
He's more into it than I am.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Does he race? He races a Midwest mod too.
Yes, this is his first year in the Midwest mod.
Are you faster than he is in the Midwest mod?
Yes.
Yes. I seen an awesome race with you from Ogilvy on video that I was like, boy, I wish I could drive like that. It was
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
So what both of you what's your luckiest racing adventure you've had? Whether it's a win or whether it's a flat tire on the trailer and still made it to the race and overhauled the engine and made the show, or what's kind of a lucky race adventure you'd want to share with people?
I'll go first on this one. I had one just happen the other week. We got rained out on Friday night and weren't really sure where to go on Saturday because everything was raining out. So at the last minute we decided to, it was actually Haley's idea, we decided to load up and go to Aberdeen. And it was a special. I think there was 39 or 40 B mods. Actually, it was the night after you were there and got second. And I didn't draw the greatest, but I got lucky enough to, Mike Nichols broke in the heat race. So I was able to pick up the heat win. Drew 8 for the feature, and somehow got lucky enough to pick up the win. So when you talk about luck, I would say that was one that kind of everything just fell into place, and first time to a brand new racetrack and a special. It was a good race. Yeah,
you got two tracks like that. You got 200% wind tracks. You did the same thing at Cheyenne River, right? And Brown County.
Yep.
So you definitely need to go on that Wild West Midwest Mod Tour then next year in Wyoming and Montana and South Dakota. So, because that'd be all new tracks for you.
I'd like to go, but from the sounds of it, I'd be a second place car.
I don't know. Well, I don't know about that. Sometimes it's you can beat Wheeler, but he's not easy to beat. But there's other fast cars out there too. So I'll be retired. So, how about you, Haley? Luckiest racing adventure?
That heat race was kind of lucky. I don't know if anyone watched the beginning of it, but I wasn't doing the best, and then I moved up to the high side, and that was all passing points for the Chubbs race.
Yeah.
So I had been able to start 6th in the feature, but when I came in from the heat race, I had a crack in my header, and luckily there was a mod driver there that barred me a header.
Oh, awesome.
So that was lucky on my side, and I ended up, well, I was running 5th in the race, and I ended up spinning out, but it was a good night.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Yeah, no doubt, to make that kind of a show with a lot of fast cars. So, yeah, I seen that. That was kind of cool. Cody had posted up on his timeline that he had to walk up to the front to see you. So,
yeah, that doesn't happen often.
All right, I'm going to do a quick this or that with you guys, which is, do you race for points or race for wins?
With
Just eat time until I can get that win.
Well, you know, it all starts with a good B main win. So once you get a B main win, then the feature win's like right there. That's how it started for me anyway. Slick or hammer down?
Slick.
very, very slick.
I wouldn't say very slick, but I'm not as good on the slick as he is, but I don't like a hammer down racetrack either.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of like, well, you know, the funnest is when it's like hammer down on one side and then bone dry on the other side. Then you don't have one side or the others. You got the right car, but not the other. Anyway.
Right.
Passing points or point average? Which you like better?
Passing points.
Passing points by far. Better cars up front.
If you dirt modified or late model?
Modified.
Dirt modified.
Bull ring or half mile kind of track?
Bull ring.
Yeah, boring.
Gas or alcohol?
We don't really have to deal with that, so definitely gas.
Ditch or the high side?
Either or, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I'm better on the low side, but I'm getting there on the high side.
Oh, yeah. I'm a ditch digger. I just embrace it. Screw it. It's easier on the car if I just stay in the ditch. What's your most wanted win?
Any.
Any. Fair enough.
Any right now.
And Cody?
Well, the one that I wanted most, we already had this year. That was the Ogilvy Mod National one. That's the one that I really, really wanted, and I got it all. But nobody was catching Kane anyways, so. What's coming up here?
Got the Wissota 100. Got
The Wissota 100 would be a lucky all in all to even get in the show is going to be tough, but that would be a miracle. So I'd have to say that one probably coming up here.
awesome. What's the worst call you ever got?
Last Friday.
Last Friday. What happened last Friday?
I was on the outside on a restart and got a little contact, and the front filler panel came flying off, and there was a debris caution. And usually all they do is just go out and pick it up and move on. And the first time this year, and if anybody knows different, please send me a message. But the first time ever, they've sent someone to the back for a piece of debris in Fergus. So it's over now. No big deal. Move on.
Yeah, that was probably hard. You were pretty close to the front there. You'd started kind of mid-pack and were, what, in second or third then?
I started 8th, and I just passed Brandon Mearsworth for the lead when the caution came out, so I didn't have it for a full lap, so they put me back in second.
Oh, okay. And then you'd had from a skirmish, some tin eventually fell off?
Yeah, yep. Me and the guy, I chose the outside on the restart, and the guy on the inside kind of came up and made a little contact with me, and the front filler panel went flying off.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. The one of those deals, I think if you try to stay positive, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, there's a few times I had one where I was leading a race and was the guy behind me got into my left rear and spun me, and they sent me to the back. And after the race, the flagman said I went in squiggly. that they didn't have time to slow down behind me. But I think the Orbs are true. I've gotten a lot of pole starts too. So anyway, how about you, Haley?
I'll probably say Alec, was it last year, was leading the race, and the second place car just wanted to smoke me for some reason, and nothing was ever done about it.
That was definitely her first win too.
Yeah, that was kind of a killer, but
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So you were leading and you got spun?
Yeah, I was leading and I got smoked by the second place guy on the restart, and yeah, nothing ever happened. So.
Oh wow, yeah, that's another heartbreaker there. Quick sponsor announcement. WearsMachine.com. They make some trick stuff for race cars, everything for birdcage mounts and sliders and all sorts of cool stuff for your race car. Great people, Chad Weirs and the whole crew there. Do you use Weirs on your race cars?
Yes.
Yeah, every suspension component that we use is all Weirs.
He's also a sponsor of ours.
Oh, awesome.
Very good.
Yes, no doubt. Hey, anything that you've seen a track or a promoter do this year that you thought was really cool and more tracks should do it?
We went to some brand new tracks this year, like we said, and they make you feel really welcome. They thank you for coming. To me, that goes a long ways. When you drive that far and you pull into a track and you got to deal with brand new faces, and they actually, they welcome you and thank you for being there. That goes a long ways.
Yeah, no doubt.
And what Austin Hunter said last week, and the water at the scales. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, and how about you, Haley? Anything you thought that was kind of cool this year? You seen a track or promoter do?
He just took it. I was going to say what Austin said, the water bottles. I always have thought that was neat. I mean, we were dying in our cars sometimes after those races, and those water bottles go a long ways.
Yeah, I can't remember what race it was in, but we had something happen, and it was a long race. It might have been in Humboldt, and we were on the track for a long time, and they brought us water.
Oh, wow.
And we were sitting in the cars, and I needed a little more left side, so I took 2 bottles. But anyway, yeah, it's always cool when you see tracks and promoters doing some things that are cool. I like one of the things that I've seen that was cool that I thought was some of the pit tours I've seen tracks do, where they'll run a Facebook Live cam right through the pit, showing people who's there, interview some drivers. I always think that's good, because fans need to connect to drivers if they're going to come to the track, so they have people to root for. Because you can have a number one fan if you never even win a race, so to speak.
Yeah, Dirt Race Central does a great job with that, Ben. He does an awesome job with getting out there, who's all at events and promoting an event. He does a great job of filming that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Facebook Live, what's your thoughts on, should people do Facebook Live at the track or not? Yay or nay? Good or bad for racing?
I think it's great for racing. I don't think there's a problem with it at all.
No.
Do you think it takes away from people in the stands?
No.
No.
Because, I mean, if they could go, I think if you're a true racing fan, you'd go. So, if you can't make it, people still want to see the race.
Okay. Any of the WSOTA rules you'd like to see changed? They got a rule freeze that's being unfreezed now, or where they're going to talk about some things. Anything you'd say, hey, WSOTA, hey, you need to consider this or think about this?
In the BMOD class, just because we run it, the 4 9-inch, the option of going to a quick change, make it an optional thing. I think that would be a great change for the class. That's only a BMOD deal, obviously, but that's just because I run that class. So to me, that would be phenomenal. Guys like you and I that like to run around a lot and we change a lot of gears, it would sure be nice to make it a little bit easier for us. And if you make it optional, what does it hurt?
Anything else?
I don't know. living costs, but what do you do there?
Yeah, lower the bigger pay, less cost. I think personally a couple of things I think is a option, the option to run a beadlock on the right front. That's more of a safety issue in my book. Same with carbon fiber drive shafts. I think again that's if you have a drive shaft go down, I realize the carbon fiber drive shafts are a little more money, but what's the price of your leg? What's the, in my experience, when I've had a drive shaft go down, you have to replace the whole undercarriage of the race car, which is carbon fiber is cheaper. And then if there's a way to get the shock price down somehow, or standardize them, or phasing out the fancy ones for cheap ones. But that's just perhaps pipe dreams too. So, do you talk to yourself when you're racing?
I do.
I don't think I talk to myself. I just.
Do you talk to other drivers? You seem like you'd be a talk to other drivers kind of person, Cody.
Yeah.
Everyone do that.
Who doesn't? You're gonna tell me you don't, Scott?
I talk to myself more than other people. Like, you got to go slow to go fast, and I've spoken to the flag people too, but usually that's hand signals. Although I've had a few people pass me and flip me off, and I've always wanted to return the favor, but those people are usually too fast for me to ever catch. Randy Klein did that to me one time, where he passed me for a feature win and gave me the one finger salute. We're buddies, and so I think it was a buddy kind of thing. But I'd like to pay him back, but I just haven't yet. How can the folks listening help your racing team?
We have t-shirts for sale.
Yep.
We have t-shirts for sale.
So if you want to get a Cody and Haley Lee racing t-shirts, they message you on your Facebook page, see you at a track.
Yep, or you can also go to winningedge.com.
Winning Edge Graphics.
Yep.
Winning Edge Graphics. Okay.
On there.
They can order them online. They'll mail them out.
Yep.
Awesome. Who are the people and partners that help you, that make racing possible?
We have a lot. We have Bobbers Marine, JMR, Minnewaska Abstract, Rents Agency, Midwest Health Benefits.
Okay. How about who?
There's a ton of them. Garber Trucking for me is a huge one. Mike's Handyman, my uncle out of the cities, he is a phenomenal help as well. Our dad, he is the backbone to our team, like I said. There are so many people that we need to thank that I guess I couldn't even name them all, and I'll probably get in trouble for this when we get off of here.
How about who helps you when you're down, when you get discouraged, when stuff goes sideways? Who'd you like to thank for that?
Well, our dad.
Yeah.
Definitely our dad. I'd say Taylor and Kyle.
Yeah, my girlfriend, every time, like last night I had a rough night, and I told her, I said, I'm taking this weekend off. She's always rolling her eyes at me and says, give it one day, we'll be back at the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she said, Dad, he's always telling us, keep going.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when you have people around you to give you encouragement and stuff. When I didn't win the rock race in Wilmer, I was really, really disappointed. And when I showed up in Fergus, Dan Wheeler said, well, I'll give you mine. I'm not going to go. But, of course, it doesn't. I appreciated the gesture. So, sometimes it's those little things that make you chuckle that help keep you going. Is there anything you'd like to share with people that maybe I missed, that I should have asked you, that I didn't know enough to?
No, just keep coming to dirt races, support it. Dirt racing in itself needs all the support it can get. It's a big sport, but we cannot lose fans. We need everybody there, and thanks everyone for cheering us on as well.
Where are you racing this weekend? If it's not a secret, like some people who aren't officially running for national points.
Yeah.
We honestly never decide.
Yeah, I would have to say that I think Friday you'll probably see us in Fergus Falls. Weather doesn't look very good for Friday. Saturday, we've been maybe talking about making my first trek up to Greenbush.
Oh yeah.
Go up and try the bush.
That's a cowboy track, I hear, or cowgirl, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Elbows up track.
Yeah, so other than that, I think that would be it this weekend. The busy one's the next weekend for Labor Day.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we got potentially, if you're insane like some people are, you could race like 5 days in a row. Awesome. Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. If there's anything people want to see added to the show that I didn't add, put it in the comments. Lauren Johnson would like you to come to Miller, which, by the way, we got to get old LJ on the show. He'd be awesome. A lot of people know Lauren Johnson. He's a dirt doctor of South Dakota. And he was one of those two that did a major slide job on national points this week. Nice clean slider up into 7th. And and I don't even think he's probably barely got maybe 30 races. But anyway, if there's anything people want added to the show, Cody and Haley Lee, thank you for coming on. I'm new at this. This is like the 4th time we've done this. So if anybody's got feedback, I'm doing it kind of because I think it's fun. I'm doing it because I think I'm trying to do it in a manner which people can learn. Newer drivers can learn some tips, maybe have some different perspectives. Next week, we're going to have Dan Wheeler on the show, along with maybe another special guest. Try to maybe do a trio thing with 3 different videos streaming in. And a link of the podcast, if you're a listener and want to share this with your friends, a link to the podcast version will also be loaded up, which you can hear on Google Play and all of the places you can listen to podcasts. So again, thanks Cody and Haley for joining us, and I'll see you at a dirt track sometime soon.
Thank you for having us.
All right, everybody. I'm going to figure out how to shut this baby down. There we go.